I do want to talk defense because I don't know what the hell is going on in the youth football coaching space, but you know, in a lot of this is probably hating and trolling at the same time. But I get a lot of coaches saying that, oh, the 4-4 Reaper defense is not a real defense. It's not a real defense. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like that's the first. We'll hear a lot of coaches say, hey, the beast offense is not a real offense, but the 4-4 Reaper is not a real defense. What in the world? Right. And so look, I want to talk about some keys to winning because again, this goes into don't listen to the noise. Whenever you get haters, they talk. Whenever they get proved wrong, they shut up. You got me? Whenever you prove them wrong, they'll never admit they're wrong. They shut up. But they're gonna talk until you whoop their tail. You got me? They're gonna talk until you whoop their tail. So there's a few points of emphasis that I want to discuss with you guys as it relates to the 4-4 Reaper defense. Okay. So when whatever defense you're running, whether it's the 4-4, the 6-2, or the 4-2-5 defense, I want you to keep the main thing the main thing. All right. Keep the main thing the main thing. And what I mean by that is you want to focus on stopping the run, right? We want to focus on stopping the run. Why do we want to stop the run, guys? Can anybody tell me? Now, I got some of my OG guys on here. Some of the guys who've been be on the show every time we go live. Like, why in the hell, right? Do we want to stop the run? Particularly in youth football. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Let me know. Because there's a method to our madness. I had a coach, and I made a video about it today, a short. I had a coach that, well, how do you practice to stop the beast offense? Well, how do you practice to stop non-beast, teams? The same way. The same way. Like it don't change for us, right? Like our goal is to shut down the running game of anybody we play. Okay, okay. Okay. Coach Jordan says forces mistakes. Coach Pacino says stop the run, make them throw, then bingo. T Pressure TV says to force the pass. Van City Raider says 85% of teams run the football in youth. Ooh, wee. Coach Bubba says 80% of plays are run plays. Shut down the run, start grabbing picks. Exactly. So we want to stop the running game because 80 to 85% of teams in youth football are going to run the ball. You got me? They're going to run the ball. I'm going to give y'all some math, man. I'm going to blow y'all mind tonight, okay? I know it's late, but I'm going to blow y'all damn minds. I'm going to give y'all some nuggets, okay? So it's imperative for you as a defense to shut down the running game. Who are the main people who run the ball in youth football? Typically, it's going to be the quarterback and the running back. Now, the quarterback is the head of the snake on any offense, okay? I don't care if you're running the beast, traditional single wing, shotgun. The quarterback's going to get the ball every play, him in the center. So it's imperative for you to shut down that quarterback. So this is how we stop the run. We target the quarterback, okay? And we got key players and we'll get into that in a minute if anybody got questions as it relates to that. But I'm giving you a high kind of a bird's point of view with these things, okay? It's that we want to shut down this quarterback. Let me see. There we go. We want to shut down this quarterback and we want to shut down that running back, okay? Because if you shut down these two guys, this is what I call the head and neck of the team, right? If you even if you rattle this quarterback, right? If you rattle this guy and he starts making mistakes, If you're shutting down this kid, he's getting frustrated. You're taking his soul. Okay, you're taking his soul away. So once you shut down these guys, what's gonna happen is the coach he's gonna get frustrated. Have y'all hear me say this all the time, but for the new guys, the coach get frustrated. At halftime, the coach said, "Well, we're gonna open up our freaking playbook." And the coach said, "Don't worry, little Johnny. I know you've been taking some hard hits. I know you've been getting sacked. Don't get frustrated. We're gonna start passing the ball, right?" Then, as soon as the third quarter come around, they're gonna pass the ball either that first series of downs, usually the first play, or you get ready to see a pass within the first, I would say, 4 to 8 plays. Okay, usually that's the first 2 series of downs. You're gonna see a pass play. Get ready for it. When they when they start the passing plays, this is your opportunity to get interceptions, turnovers like crazy, and that's where you guys was talking about forcing the pass, right? Forcing the pass, force mistakes, and this is what it's about, guys. Because guess what? In youth, and it's a fun fact. Fun fact: 60% of scores in youth football happen by turnovers. Did y'all hear me? 60% of scoring in youth football comes from turnovers. So let's think about this for a minute. Would it not make sense to be dedicated to stop the run if they run if youth football teams run the ball 80-85% of the time? You shut that down, and now you're forcing them to do something they're not comfortable doing, which is passing the ball. Would it not make sense to be dedicated to that, right? So this is why we do what we do. We play smart football over here, guys. We play sound football. We're not trying to beat ourselves, right? We're not trying to freaking beat ourselves. So what I typically do is, we mix up our blitzes. We mix up our pressures. This is how we attack the quarterback and the running back, is that we mix up our pressures. We'll do a Bama blitz, right? Which is just a B gap blitz with your middle linebackers. Okay. Now we'll have our guys, our outside linebackers. We love to blitz that edge and control that edge. We don't play, passive containment defense. We play aggressive. We play aggressive for a reason. We play aggressive because we want to set the tone. We don't want them to get comfortable, running their plays and developing their plays, because this is a part of the mental game. We want to take shots at the trenches all day. Y'all got me. And we mix up our pressures by doing, the Bama blitz in our base, right? And then we'll start doing stunts and twists. When they think, especially on the edge, when the tight end and the tackle, they think, okay, well, they finna do the same thing. And we mix it up. That slight delay, that slight alter step changes up everything, guys. And now, what you think happens when we start doing stunts and twists? Somebody's going to get in there unblocked, and guess what? We still doing our Bama blitz with the twist. We're doing double penetration. No, that didn't sound right for a midnight edition of the show, but y'all get my gist. We're doing double penetration. We're putting pressure on that offensive line to perform consistently at a high level. They may win some downs, but they are not going to win the trenches from us. They're going to win the battle. Let's put it like this: they're going to win some battles, maybe, but they're not going to win the war against us, because we're going to mix up our pressures. We may go from a Bama blitz to one of my personal favorites, Alabama blitz, where we shoot double A gap blitz. Okay. I know some of you guys are in a league where you can't do that. Stick with Bama blitz. You got me, or blitz one of your guys in that A gap. The pressure, you gotta send consistent pressure. It's similar. It's similar to like having a pipe, right? Like having a pipe outside and it bursts because it may be too cold or something like that, and it bursts because of the pressure or whatever. That's how we look at the offensive line of any team we're playing. We're going to keep hitting that front line until kids start to break. And that's what happened. And especially, you playing against these teams, especially they got big boys, you start wearing them big boys out with that speed and aggression. Them big boys, they start getting depressed. I'm telling you, hey, I don't know what it is about these youth football players, guys. If you hit these big boys enough, these kids start getting depressed. They don't even want to play no more. Because, in their mind, youth football is fun. I just want to block. I want to pancake somebody. But when they're the ones getting pancaked or, getting knocked to the ground and they 10 years old and they 250 pounds, 10 years old, 230, big boy don't want to, big boy don't want to get on the ground. As a matter of fact, big boy don't even want to eat no more. Big boy used to mom getting him a freaking Big Mac with a large freaking fry at the end of the game. The kid don't even want to eat McDonald's no more. He want to lose weight. He don't even want to be a guard or a tackle no more. When you start wearing that kid out, and especially if you start wearing that kid out by like the second, oh Lord, if he's worn out by the end of the first or second quarter, game over. Because he's tired, he's fatigued, he's getting whipped. So he got this trifecta, going on. He's mentally out of the game. His soul is taken. He can't catch his breath. And then he just realized that he may be going against a kid that's maybe smaller than him, but it's more of a dog or more just playing more aggressive or smarter or quicker, whatever the case may be. And by the time the third quarter, with our squads, it's usually the second quarter. But by the time the third quarter, it's like you're playing a completely different team because the team you played against, they're absolutely whipped. Is that making sense, guys? Is that making sense? Because look, I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides of it. I've been on the side where our team got whipped by better teams. And I've also been on the side where more where we wear teams out to where their will to win is just taken away. And by the end of the game, and you shaking the other team hand, all you see is tears, a trail of tears, man, happening at the end. At the end of the game, you shake your hand, you see kids just demoralized because their souls have been taken. Now, of course, you got a lot of kids who are passionate about the game, and they will, be mad just because they don't like losing, But I'm talking about kids, man. You can look at them and just tell they've been crying since crying since the second quarter. Hey, how many of you guys have seen kids like at the end of the game shaking their hand, and you could tell they've been crying like half of the game, the majority of the game, and all you can do is feel bad because if you got a little humility as a coach, you're like, man, dog, we beat the brakes off this 12U squad. These kids not even in junior high yet, But that's how I want you guys to win. And that's the kind of mentality I want you guys to have is that when we play teams and we beat teams, we want to beat them in dominating fashion. And I'm not trying to, I never wanted to beat a team because of an ego trip, right? Oh, I'm the best coach in the world. My team, we the national champions, blah, 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 blah. We're the national champions of the elite youth football league that nobody even give a damn about. Nah. We want to dominate the game because we have prepared and we have put ourselves in a position to be the best of the best and to be the best versions of ourselves. And we want to reap the harvest of whooping a team's tail because of all the work and preparation we put in at practice. Because you win games at practice. Y'all know how I feel about that. You win games at practice.